Welcome back, nerds and noobs, to another episode of the Help Desk Diaries. Today, I want to talk about my experience being on call and all the questions people have asked me about it. For those who don't know what on-call is, it's usually a rotating schedule where designated employees are available to respond to urgent system issues or incidents outside of regular work hours. You're on call to ensure the 24/7 availability and reliability of critical systems by quickly resolving major bugs, performance problems, or outages when they occur, or even just a password reset. You're expected to be reachable via phone or another kind of alert system and must be able to address problems promptly, often requiring you to stay near your workstation or be ready to mobilize within a short time frame. So for my on-call that I do at work, we are required to respond to the call. I mean, even if it does go to voicemail or we're busy, it does happen and it's okay. We just need to respond within the hour. From there, we have to be able to respond remotely, and if we do need to be on site, we do have to be there. We have 2 hours in total to get there from point of response. So I must admit, when it comes to on-call and tech in general, I am not that experienced, and I hate to be the employee to wake up my co-workers, but when all comes to worse, sometimes you will need help. And I did. I mean, I've had to call the networking guy multiple times to figure out what the fuck is going on, especially when there's been a specific outage, whether it's the internet, a specific website or service that's gone down. I'm just like, Captain Commands, please answer my call. Usually he doesn't answer straight away, but he calls me back. And that's what matters most. And they understand that, and it is part of the job, especially if you're a high network engineer, he understands. And as me, as a level 1 tech doing on-call, I'm mainly doing it for the experience, by the way, to put on my resume, and not that I'm going anywhere soon, but, potentially in the future. It's a good look. It shows that you're flexible, shows that you're hardworking, that you can respond to urgent scenarios calmly. Shows a lot of things. But at the end of the day, you can only do what you are capable in certain circumstances. So anyway, now that you have that background info, I'll answer some questions I've been asked frequently, from friends or family or other techs about on-call. So how often am I on call? For me, it's once a month, as we have 4 people, including myself, who rotate each week. And it's a good balance. However, sometimes it can be more frequent. For example, I've done 2 weeks in a row as someone has gone on leave and they needed it covered. But overall, once a month, yeah. However, again, this can differ with every job. So just read the contract, read the agreement before you sign up. Make sure it's not every week. I mean, if it is, you'd be getting a shit ton of money, I can guarantee you that, but it would be very stressful, and I hope you can sleep well. Anyway, next question. Do I get paid extra for being on call, and is it legal for employers to require on call without extra pay? So to answer the first part of this question, of course I get paid extra. That's the point of on call, and pretty much the only incentive to do it, unless you are groveling for your boss's approval. I do get paid overtime for on call. So for example, if it is remote work and I take 15 minutes on a job, I get paid an hour's worth. Now, if I work on site, even for 1 hour, I get paid 4 hours worth of money. Hell yeah. And any extra hour after the 4 hours is, of course, paid. And if I'm there longer than 4 hours, which hasn't been the case yet, thank God. But in general, it's a pretty sweet gig, I must admit. However, this is my workplace only, and again, it differs for every workplace, every job. So make sure you read the contract, ask the questions before doing on-call work, as, I don't believe it is legal for employers not to pay extra pay. Like, again, make sure you're getting paid extra because it is overtime. Like, you should be getting paid overtime. And if you are getting unpaid, bring it up with HR or whoever looks after payroll. I don't know, or whoever looks after that in your company. Just say the word union and they'll be scared. Moving on. Can I go out or do things while I'm on call? Short answer, yes. Just don't drink and stay within 2 hours of sight is what I've been told. Long answer, I don't recommend it. Like, you can go do your shopping, go visit friends. Just always bring your laptop and phone with you, as you never know when you'll need to remote in and check something. You also need to stay within the area, of course, unless you only do remote on-call work, just in case you need to go to site to restart a server, firewall, switch, router, whatever it is, manually. Which kind of leads into the next question. How do I balance my on-call work with my personal life and family, friends? Well, first off, I recommend always put it in your calendar. Do it for the year if you can. Having it in there as a reminder helps to schedule outings, parties, meetups with friends and family, as you can see when you can or can't go somewhere. So, I mean, you can always ask your co-workers to cover a night or two if you want to go out to out and party, but, you know, I wouldn't do it often because they always have the right to say no, as being on call is your responsibility and your job. So yeah, always have it written down. And if you do get invited out on a week you are on call, like if it's a spontaneous invite from your friends, they're like, let's go party, girl. Or let's get a drink, man. You can always, ask to swap shifts with someone, like I said, or just choose not to drink and make sure your phone is on loud and you have your laptop, PC nearby, whatever it is. Which I kind of, basically is on-call stressful. When I first started, I felt on-call was so daunting. Like, my first ever day on call, I got a call at 11 p.m. at night from the second in charge at one of the sites, pretty much the CEO, basically. And one of the alert systems was completely down. So I woke up to their voicemail because the call itself slowly woke me up, because I wasn't used to hearing my phone during the night. As a rule for myself, I usually, guys, you can hate me, but I always, most of the time, have my phone on silent. I mean, do I miss calls? Yes. Is that okay? I think so. They can leave a voicemail. I prefer text anyway, but, when I'm on call, of course, I have it on loud. But again, this was my first time I had my phone on loud. I honestly didn't know that my ringtone sounded like the BTS, what is it, Sugar or something? Yeah, it woke me up, that's for sure. And then I was like scrambling to get the voicemail, and I heard it and I was like, oh no, this is like my first shift. Because the thing is, it was like the first day of my week of on call, and I was like, oh my goodness. Anyway, freaked out internally, but I took a deep breath in, I called the site back and went through the troubleshooting steps. Thankfully, it was just a case of me remoting in and restarting a service on the alert system server and waiting for it to kick back on, basically. The hardest part was waiting around so on-site staff could check each area was working. That took a bit. And then one area wasn't. I was lost. Didn't know why it wouldn't come back on. Didn't know why it wouldn't come back online if it did for every other area. Yeah. So I had to do the worst thing. call my coworker who knew the system like the back of his head. Thank you, Fix It Felix. We love you. At this point, it was 12 a.m. I was mortified. I hadn't got it all back up and running, but I was also stuck. So I called him at 12 a.m. and thank God the legend answered. I was so relieved. Turns out it was a stupid little button they had installed onto the actual wall, and they switched it on at the actual site, and that stopped the alerts from coming through. I had no idea about it, and neither did the staff, but it fixed the issue once I told them. Anyway, I thanked Fix It Felix profusely, hung up, called the site back, hung up on them, and then turned my laptop off and tried to sleep. Again, I was tired, especially I had a 7 a.m. start in the morning as well. So long story short, yes, it can be stressful, very stressful. It will get your adrenaline pumping and your cortisol flowing. Especially at 12 a.m. at midnight, I could not get back to sleep for like an hour. But so if you're already overstressed and burnt out, I don't recommend on-call for you. However, I was, so call me a hypocrite. But again, over time, you do get better at it, and it isn't as stressful as it was at the start. I guess it just becomes work. Anyway, enough about feelings and freakouts. Let's talk about the questions that are more practical, technical, work culture, and boundary related. What kind of issues usually come up during on-call? Honestly, it will either be a password reset or a massive outage of the internet or a service. It's never in between. Never. Never, ever, ever. It's either one of the two. It's either something really simple or something like major. That's what I've found so far, and I've been on call for over a year now. Do I remote in from my phone or laptop? I remote in with my laptop, but again, depending on your job, you might be able to remote in from your phone. You'd want a big phone though. Has anyone remoted in on a phone? I think I've got TeamViewer installed on my phone, but I don't think I've ever actually used it. I might try that one day. That'd be interesting. Let me know if you guys have. Anyway, do I have a checklist to follow? Not really. Just troubleshoot, find the issue, report the issue if it's a major outage, try and fix the issue, then alert the team or those affected when it has been resolved, or continue providing updates if it hasn't, like every half hour till it is fixed. Do we get proper handovers before going on call? Now, this question is kind of interesting. I'd say it depends on what has been done during the week. For example, if a service or network has been updated, things have been changed, then yes, they do tell us. But from like the actual other on-call person to like the next, no, that like there isn't a handover. It just gets changed on Monday. I forgot to mention, our on-call's like Monday to Sunday, or to like Monday morning whenever the person changes it over. So yeah, unless it's like, unless it's a specific ongoing issue that occurs at night or outside hours, then I'd say, the other on-call person would let you know. Okay, two more questions I'm going to do. Am I expected to drop everything immediately, even at 2 a.m.? Yes, this is your job. You signed a contract, you accepted an agreement. Sure, you have time to get dressed and get on site. Don't rock up in your pajamas, please. But if you're with your partner or friends, unfortunately, you still are. It sucks, but such is life. All right, time to wrap this up. Last question. Is it okay to say no to on-call if it's affecting your health or personal life? Well, I guess it would depend on your job. I mean, if on-call is literally your job, like your job, then I'd say no. unless you want to get fired. However, if it's an optional thing where you work, for me, then 100% yes. Even if you want to decrease the amount of time you're on call, I'd say it'd be a wise decision. I mean, especially if it is impacting your life so much. Yeah, so nerds and noobs, I hope you learnt something about working as an on-call grunt in IT. It can be very stressful, but it is very rewarding, especially the money. I wouldn't recommend it though too much if you have kids. Although saying that, Tabs McGee manages it pretty well. Oh, and Mr. Mentor, he did it for a while too, now that I can remember. Or did he? I can't remember now. But anyway, kudos to Tabs. So yeah, if you're considering an on-call role, just know it's a ride. It's not a call, it's a ride. So bring coffee, stay humble, and maybe have a Fix-It Felix on speed dial. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the queue. Bye.